Thanks so much for being here. This is our monthly home workout missions that we are on the roll of. And the theme for May is Enjoy Life, Our Heart's Desires. And for this month, I thought the theme would be great if we could take care of ourselves, you know? I thought that would be kind of nice. And if we could have some motivation to get stuff done that makes us happy, I don't think we can get better motivation than that. So the next screen I have, let's do this, okay? So now, if you can't do this now, then make sure that you do it later, okay? Get back to this and do it later. But if you can do it now, then do it now. Get your binder or get a notebook and get a pen and let's do this, okay? So we're going to make a list of the little things. I want you to brainstorm everything that you could think of that would make you happy to do, okay? Like the little things. I have a list here of some of the things that makes me happy. Growing flowers, baking cookies, playing cards, binge watching my favorite show. And like if that's one of your things, then name the shows, because it does bubble up inside. You know, I love to watch older movies like Please Don't Eat the Daisies and anything with Cary Grant. What's that show? Pride and Prejudice. I love You've Got Mail. Like just try to think of Betty Davis movies. Try to think of movies that kind of spur your heart into being happy, okay? Sipping on tea and relaxing. The feeling of looking into a room that I love. And like I wrote that because there's a room right over there. It used to be called the piano room, but now it's just the, I think they call it the library now because there's 2 shelves in there with books. And so I turned my head and I looked over there and I love that room. It has this nice little like chaise kind of lounge in there. The curtains are sheer orange. They have these on the sides of them, these lovely curtains on the sides that have like big, almost like psychedelic flowers on them. I know it sounds a little funky, but it's made me feel so happy to look at it. I'm like, wow, that's a nice thing. Glancing into a room that sparks your creativity or your soul, you know? So there's that. Coloring pictures. Like, did you ever do that either with a child, with your grandchild, with your kid, or just by yourself, like just sitting and coloring pictures, cuddling up in bed with a good book, crocheting, scrapbooking, reading a book with some hot cocoa on a rainy day, walking on the beach, visiting with a friend, going to the country, going to church. Like, you do this, okay? Take some time right now and write out some things that make you happy. Stop the video and do this assignment, okay? Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at that list and look at the things that are associated with the house, okay? So what are the things that are associated with the house? I want you to cross off the things that are not associated with the house, okay? So while you're doing that, I'm going to just name a few things in case you're having some trouble thinking of things that make you happy. Because a lot of times, you know, we could go through life and not be taking care of ourselves, and it's even hard to think of what we like, all right? So here's some other things I thought of. Making a Lego kit, sewing, setting up your train set, putting together a model, playing with your kids or grandkids, cooking, entertaining, I have that twice, decorating, playing the piano, playing any kind of instrument, okay? So those are some of the things that other things that might make you happy. And so right now you're crossing off things that aren't associated with the house from that list that you made. So on my list that I have here, I crossed off going to the movies, visiting with a friend, going to the country, and going to church. The other things can be associated with home. Now, I have a lot of people in my Tidy Tutor world that have told me that, they don't go out and see people because they are always saying, oh, I got to get this done. I've got to get that done. And the home is stopping them from doing that. But that's not the exercise we're doing now. We're not doing, let me get the house cleaned up so that I could go out and enjoy myself and do some of the fun things that I want. What we're talking about right now is just the things that made you happy that's associated with home. Okay, so I'm going to assume you did it. If you didn't do it, stop the video and do the assignment. Okay, write down all the things that just make you happy, then cross off the things that don't have to do with your house immediately. Okay? Okay, stop the video now and cross off the things that don't have anything to do with home. Now, on the list of the things that you have left, I want you to ask yourself, what of the things on the list makes you the most excited? What thing could you get most motivation from? So look at your list now, and in the chat, write in there, what are the things, if you're doing this assignment while you're with me right now, what are the things that made you excited? Which is the one thing that you're like, oh, that brings up something for me. That makes me excited. So here we have, like growing flowers, baking cookies, playing cards. Like, think about if you could just do this thing right now. Let's pretend now. Remember, this is in a perfect world, all right? This is everything that your heart's desire where this is concerned. Let's pretend it's baking cookies. You say you love to bake. Then this means that in your imagination, you're seeing your kitchen totally clean and everything in order. And you're walking in there and you're grabbing the flour and you're getting the vanilla and you're getting the baking powder and the baking soda and the cinnamon and whatever else that you're using to bake, and you're turning your oven on to preheat, you're getting your mix master, and you're starting to get your bowls out. Everything is in arm's reach. It feels so good. It's all right there. Okay, so you think about what it is that would make you the most excited. And let me see, what do I have here on the next slide? This is, for me, what I chose. Okay, I was going to choose looking in the room that I love, that would make me the most happy. Because for me, right now, in the state that I'm in, where everything's okay, I would really love to decorate something. There's some rooms that really could use some sprucing up. There's some rooms that I kind of neglected. So I was thinking, well, I'd love to decorate. I'd love to paint the porch or something. But for this example, what I'm going to use is I'm going to pretend that I'm going to do a puzzle. That one of the things that would make me the most happy is doing a puzzle. See, I don't even think, oh yeah, I do. I have it on the list. All right, so that's the thing I'm gonna pretend that that's my desire. Okay, so you have your desire. We're gonna move on. All right, so I want us to make this an event. All right, make what we're doing right now, make it be a lot of fun and attach a really big feeling of joy to it. There's nothing about this that feels like a drudge, like a drag, like I don't want to do this, like oh my God, again. None of that, all right? This is about all feeling fun, and we're going to bring the emotions in that's going to help that to be the case, okay? So we're going to make a plan, all right? We're going to make a plan. We love plans, don't we? And we're going to start with a vision, okay? And I want you to take the time right now to write this out. Now, I wrote out a vision, okay? I pretended that I was back in my slob days, and I did used to love to do puzzles. So what I did was I wrote out a vision of pretending that I was in my slob days, and I would just love to sit down and get a puzzle done, one of those like little tiny piece puzzles that make a picture of something. I used to love to do those. So I'm going to read you what I wrote out as my vision, and hopefully this will give you the inspiration to do this for yourself. And I think you're going to like this. Okay, so here. All right. Now here's my vision. Ready? I walk into my living room and I see the card table that I set up with my puzzle box on it, waiting for me to open it up and separate the edges from the middles and grab colors as I see them, as I go and place piles of those in little piles. I see the comfy chair with my favorite throw over the arm, and I can't wait to get into it. On the coffee table is a tray that I just found while I was dejunking. I'm going to use it to bring my snacks and my tea on while I'm working on my puzzle. I think I'll get that Pride and Prejudice series that I've always wanted to watch. That will be wonderful to have on while I work on my puzzle for the first time. I'll set a timer and take breaks. I'll get up and do some stretches every now and then. Maybe I'll get that yoga lady on I've been wanting to work out from YouTube, the one that caters to the newbies. Then I'll head to the kitchen for my snacks. The kitchen is a bit of a mess. I'm not there yet, but my living room is lovely. I can't wait to make the kitchen my project. For now, though, I'm enjoying my living room. So I'll get my tea into the pot and my favorite mug. I'll have my favorite shortbread cookies, and I'll put them on the china that I've never used. I'll walk into the living room with my tray on a doily that my grandmother made, and I'll watch more of my show while I snack. Later, I'm getting all teary-eyed here because I get emails from people about just wanting to do these simple things. And because I know what this feels like, it's a big deal. The things that some people take for granted are really, really big for us. Later, when I go on living my life, my sanctuary puzzle cozy space will be there waiting for me. And every night, just before bed, after I'm in my pajamas and I finished with my bedtime routine, I have a new thing to do. I'll sit for 15 minutes doing some more of my puzzle and listen to my favorite chill music, being thankful for the life that I live. All right, now I have to wipe my eyes because you know what? It really is the little things. And to allow our mess, the things that we don't even use, that we don't love, that are broken, to stop us from doing this simple, simple thing that would bring so much joy to our lives, to allow that to happen, it's criminal. We shouldn't be doing that to ourselves. So write that out, okay? I don't think that I'll say, set a timer to do this now, because this is going to take a little time. I want you to really sit down and think about it. Make it like you're not you, all right? You have to make it like you're you because it is that you want it. But make it like you're writing a story, like you're writing a book. You're writing something for someone else to read. And do it in first person. Do it in any way you'd like to do it. But I did mine in first person. I walk into my living room and I see the card table. So I do it as if I'm in the picture right now, as if this is what I'm doing. But you can do whatever floats your boat, okay? So when this is over, okay, I said when this is over, but honestly, after looking at it again, don't wait for it to be over. It's a really important part of this. So just take the time now to write out a vision. Use mine as an example if you want to, and it doesn't have to be perfect. Just do the best you can, and then you could revamp it later. But definitely write something down that spurs your heart into feeling the emotion of what it is that you want, okay? So do it now. Stop the video and do it now. Stop the video and do this, all right? Write it out. Because when we get this feeling in our hearts of what we want, we're going to be able to make that happen. And not only that, but it'll be a joy. for it to happen. It won't feel like it sucks, and we'll be giving to ourselves. And just one thing to say about this, the part where I wrote about listening to my favorite chill music, like a lot of times we have been so on the back burner that we forget even the music that we used to love. You know, I'm 60 years old now. In June, I'll be 61. And I remember my mother-in-law saying to me, you know, I don't know I'm not 21 until I look in the mirror. I feel the same. And I understand that totally now. You know, when I think back to me in high school, I remember the music that I used to love. And way back before I really started taking care of myself, I remembered I loved George Harrison. George Harrison was like one of my favorite Beatles. Like I just loved his music. And I totally forgot. I totally forgot that I used to love George Harrison because I was so busy making everybody else's life okay that I forgot about mine. And so really bring that in when you're doing this, okay? And let yourself be who you are on the inside of you and not who you've been crammed into being because of the mess that you have and the identity that has kind of like, you know, morphed into who we are, because it's not who we are. And remember that whoever you are right now, you can change that in a minute. We aren't stuck. It isn't a life sentence. So I love the fact that we could reinvent ourselves every single month, every day, if we want to. Okay, so I'll go on to the next one. Sorry if I got a little preachy on you. All right, now the next thing you're going to do after you write out your vision, all right, how you see what it is that you want to do, whether it was crafting or playing the piano or whatever, take your Tidy Tutor lessons and put them into action, okay? First, now remember, you've got this space, you've got this thing. Let's pretend it's me with my puzzle room, right? My living room. I have this space. I know what I want. This is going to be exciting. This is for me. I'm going to do this puzzle, but I've got to make my living room be a sanctuary and set up my little corner for myself. So I'm going into the living room. You know, got your hands on your hips like I'm doing this thing. And so the first thing I want to do, okay, let's get my de-junking supplies. Let me get to it. Be ruthless. Happiness is waiting. Keep telling yourself that. I am doing this. Happiness is waiting. The next thing we're going to do when you get into that space is we're going to clean. We get it all de-junked. Bam, 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 bam. You could do this. Next, we're going to clean. Cobwebs, because you want to start from the top and work your way down. Cobwebs, windows, do you need to get those curtains off? How long have those curtains been on the windows? Can you put your finger through one of them? Curtains, woodwork, smudges around the doorknobs, smudges on the walls, smudges around the light switches, all the surfaces. You're going to dust it. You're going to wash it. You have any appliances in there that you got to work on? Do you have any electronic things that you gotta, you know, dust off and stuff? Get all of that done. Got any glass in the room you gotta do? Any pictures on the wall you gotta take care of? Remember, if you're gonna spray anything on a picture, you want to take the picture down, lay it down flat, spray something on a rag, and then spray it, because otherwise it'll drip down into the picture and it'll ruin it. So then you get to the floor. You have a rug in there, you're going to vacuum, you have a rug and a floor, you want to wash that floor and vacuum. And then after that, spruce it up. Make that space be something that you can make it for. You know, like it doesn't have to be perfect. It has to be the best you can do with it, right? Do the best with what you got. That's all that matters. Now, the last slide, I believe, is this one. And it is get something in motion for you to be able to track it, all right? So get your star chart or your heart chart. Make a decision. Like this is something, even though we've built this emotion to it, it is something that could easily fall through the cracks, and in another 3 or 4 days, you know, you start it, you stop it, and then before you know it, it's like, oh, wait a minute, that's right, I did want to do something. What was that again? We don't want that to happen, right? That's why we're doing this monthly workout on the house, because if we don't keep our bodies worked out, I don't care how much in shape you were before, you're going to get flabby if you don't. My brother used to be a Chippendale dancer. You got to see this freaking guy now. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen unless you keep it up. So we need to keep this alive, all right? And so make a plan that you can stick to. And remember from last week's, if you remember, I said make an outrageous goal. What were they? Outrageous goal, a target goal, and a minimum goal. All right? And then this way, whatever you do, if you do the outrageous goal, if you get that done, then you hit it out of the park. If you do your target goal, then you're very satisfied. Yes, I did what I want to do. And if you do a minimum goal and you say, that's fine, that's okay. I had a rough day today, or there was a circumstance, but I still did my minimum. So do that, okay? And then do it where you have it tracked, because if you don't track it, then days will go by and it'll just be forgotten. It's okay if you don't do it every day, because, stuff happens. But if you continue to track it, then you'll keep doing it. It's not about perfect, right? There is no such thing as perfect. We aren't saying, oh, well, I have to do every one of these. No, you don't. You have to try like hell to do every one of these, because it's your goal. But what you really want to do is keep up with the tracking, because if you do, you're not going to forget about it, and you will get to where you want to go. All right? You want to think big, start small, and be patient. Love that image. So that was that for this coffee talk. I hope you liked it. I really did. I really think that this is great. I think that we could use this at any time. Let me see how I can. I wish I could stop this. Well, I guess whatever it was that I wanted to stop, I stopped, because the video abruptly ended there. So let me just officially close this out and say thank you so much for being here. I hope that you are enjoying this series that we have. Everything that I do in Coffee Talks are always done in the moment. It's done on inspiration, and I'm thrilled with how this came. I think that this has a lot of motivation in it, and if it's not fun, we don't want to do it, and this is definitely making it fun. Please make sure that you use all the resources that you have inside of the Insiders. Look through this series. Listen to it while you're getting some stuff done. It'll help you to, formulate a plan, get yourself in action. But remember that Tidy Tutor Masterclass, what used to be known as Tidy Tutor University, it is the basis for everything. Please don't neglect that. Make sure that you make that your priority. Okay, I'll see you next week. If you just watched this and you're not part of my Tidy Tutor Insiders Club, the reason that you were able to see it is because I shared it with the public, because I want to invite you to be part of my club. I wanted to give you a little sneak peek at what happens inside the club. That was a coffee talk that you just listened to, and we meet the first, the second, and the third Tuesday of every month. These meetings are recorded and put in an archive and categorized so that it's easy to find and to grab when you need motivation. If you've been in a mess for a long time and you're sick and tired of it, and you know that you need extra help, grab my class, grab the club, and let's get started. Now, the Tidy Tutor Insiders Club, it closes periodically during the year. It's open right now at the time of this recording. So click on the link and get into the club. And if it just happens that it's closed when you are on this recording, then get on the waiting list, okay? All right, I'll see you on the inside.